Do you want to find a quiet place with few tourists? Iwami Ginzan and Mount Sanbe are definitely worth a try. It only takes a few hours by train and bus from Hiroshima, and you'll have 2 days to explore the old Omori town. Soak in Yunotsu hot spring. Have fresh fish for breakfast right at the port. Visit Moriyama Pottery Studio and hike Mount Sanbe while listening to cicadas in an ancient forest. In this travel documentary, I'll share every detail from how to get there, ticket prices, places to eat, and what to see, so you can confidently plan your own 2-day itinerary. Day 1. Arrival in Iwami Ginzan, the old silver mining town and hot spring street. How to get there. I started my trip from Hiroshima Station in the morning. I booked the JR train ticket online in advance. The whole trip took about 3 hours, including a transfer. From Hiroshima, I took the limited express Yakumo to Izumo-shi Station, then changed to a local train to Oda Station. The ticket cost about 45 to 50 go US. At Oda Station, I walked to the bus stop right outside, took a local bus for another 30 minutes to reach Omori, Old Town. The bus fare is cheap, only about 3 to 4 USD, paid directly to the driver. Exploring Iwami Ginzan. Arriving at Iwami Ginzan, my first impression was a very quiet street lined with old wooden houses close together. Dark orange roof tiles faded with time, but still neat and clean. This used to be a busy town thanks to Japan's largest silver mine. But now there's only the old town, wooden houses, a few souvenir shops, candy stalls, and small cafes for visitors to stop by. I started walking from the main gate at the entrance of Omori Street. On both sides were 2-story wooden houses with orange tiles and timber walls. In front of each house was a small flower bed, and some had handmade signs sharing the mine's history. Walking along the street, I spotted Jizo statues with red hats and knitted scarves. These statues guard the mine entrance, and people usually clasp their hands to greet them. When passing by, I stopped to buy a bag of Getanoha candy, a sweet miners used to carry to ease hunger while working underground. On the way, I turned into Ryugenji Mabu Silver Mine Tunnel. This is an old tunnel preserved so visitors can imagine how silver mining used to be. The entrance is small, the tunnel is damp inside, and the rock walls still show pickaxe marks. I walked a short stretch reading the info boards along the tunnel about how miners worked, carrying oil lamps and hand picks to chip out ore. Walking through the tunnel only takes about 20 minutes, but it's enough to feel how tough silver mining used to be. A bit further, I turned into Kumagai Residence, the mansion of a silver merchant during the Edo period. The entrance fee is about 2 to 3 USD, bought right at the small wooden gate. Inside, the big wooden beams, curved roof tiles, tatami mat living room, small garden, and silver storage are still intact. I strolled through the yard reading the wooden boards hanging by the rooms, telling stories of the Kumagai family. After visiting the Kumagai residence, I stopped by the Iwami Ginzan library. This library was originally a private house that was renovated. Inside, it's divided into 3 sections. One for old books, one as a cafe, and one with long tables for people to work. The old wooden beams are still on the walls. I ordered a hot coffee and sat by the window looking out at the street. Leaving the library, I walked along a small stone path leading up to Kigami Shrine. The path isn't long, but the stone steps are covered with a thin layer of moss, a bit slippery, with some old pine trees on both sides. At the shrine gate, I saw a simple wooden gate painted red, but faded, with a wooden sign carved with the shrine's name in old-style script. Passing through the gate, I walked along the stone walkway. The courtyard isn't big, paved with evenly spread white gravel. Right beside the courtyard, there's a small well with a wooden roof above it. Inside, the wooden ceiling is carved with a dragon. Visitors often stand in the middle of the hall, clasp their hands, and clap lightly to hear the echo. I tried too. The echo sounded like knocking on a hollow wooden box, softly bouncing off the floor. Kigami Shrine is not big, not heavily decorated, but tidy and clean. I went back to town and stopped at Gunendo, a small, family-style eatery. The walls are wooden, with a few photos of Omori Street back when the mine was still active. I ordered hayashi rice with beef stew sauce, and a Shine Muscat grape parfait. The grapes are grown in a garden near the village. The seeds are crisp and the sweetness is natural. I caught a bus to Yunotsu Onsen Yakushiyu, about 20 minutes from Omori town. This hot spring is over 100 years old. The bathtubs are lined with stones, and the bottom is coated with an ivory white mineral layer. I bought a bath ticket for about $3.54 USD and rented a towel for about $1.5 USD. I stored my things and soaked for about half an hour. Near the bath, there's a small workshop where guests can try fermenting seasonings. The workshop only has a few wooden tables and shelves lined with clay jars. The owner guides guests to mix soybeans with salt, put them in jars, and explains how to make traditional miso. If you want, you can write your name, leave your jar to ferment, or buy a small ready-made miso jar to take home. After that, I had dinner right there, a plate of Japanese-style pasta, some handmade cheese, and a warm cup of sake. I went back to Yururi Inn, located right on Omori Street. Yururi is a small inn in a traditional Japanese house style. Inside, the floor is tatami. The room has only a neatly folded white futon mattress, and in the corner, there's a low tea table with 2 floor chairs. The walls are still sliding paper doors, opening to a view of a backyard garden with a small stream running through. The inn isn't luxurious, but very clean, with a room price around $80–90 USD per night. Before sleeping, I stopped by the shrine at the end of the street to watch Kagura, a Shinto dance. Here, Kagura is usually performed right in the shrine's yard, an open space where both adults and kids gather to watch. The performers wear masks, hold paper fans, and dance to drums and flutes. The performance is based on Japanese mythology. The highlight is the Great Serpent scene, a giant snake winding around the stage, drums pounding, performers wielding swords, and light smoke drifting around the yard. The story tells about the god Izumo and deities protecting the land and the old silver mine. Day 2, Iwami Ginzan and Mt. Sanbe. In the morning, I woke up early and walked to the Yunotsu port. Right near the bay, there's a small eatery run by local fishermen, open early to sell fish and prepare breakfast for people heading out to sea. The place is small, with simple wooden tables and chairs. I ordered a bowl of shirasu rice topped with fresh whitebait, along with a plate of sashimi. The fish here is freshly caught by local fishermen. The meat is sweet, and eating it with warm rice is delicious. After eating, I stopped by a nearby pottery studio. The studio isn't big, just a wooden house with a tiled roof, inside filled with cups, bowls, and teapots. In one corner, I saw a potter sitting at a wheel. His hands were covered in clay, shaping and trimming excess bits with a small knife. Next to him, another person carefully glazed the pieces and arranged them on shelves to be fired in the kiln out back. The kiln is made of bricks, and light smoke drifted up past the tiled roof. I stood watching them work for a while, then chose a green Moriyama mug to buy. The owner said the green color comes from tree ash around the mountain, giving the glaze a simple look and a solid feel. Next, I took a bus to the base of Mt. Sanbe. The mountain isn't very high, but is known for the ancient forest buried underneath over 4,000 years ago by a volcanic eruption. I bought a round-trip ticket for the chairlift, about $7 to $8. The lift moves slowly, just enough to hear birds singing, cicadas calling, and the cool breeze passing through the forest. At the top, I hiked a short trail to a lookout point where I could see fields and forests stretching below. Coming down, I stopped at Sanbe Mountain Station, a small rest area that sells snacks and souvenirs. I tried the cold tonkatsu with tea poured over it. The fried pork is served cold, then hot green tea is poured on top when eating, so the meat's rich flavor gets lighter, replaced by the fresh taste of tea. Easy to eat. Nearby, there's a small stand selling essential oil made from Solidago altissima. This wild plant grows all around the mountain. Locals harvest and distill it into oil, soap, and sachets. I bought a small bottle of mild scented oil to put in my bag to help me sleep better. Before heading back to my room, I stopped by the Iwami Ginzan Silver Museum. The entrance fee is about $2.4. I bought my ticket and stepped inside. In the lobby, there's a small book counter and some English info sheets. Walking further in, I saw rooms neatly arranged. In one area, picks, oil lamps, and wooden shovels that miners used to dig tunnels were hanging. In another, there were pieces of leftover silver ore with a board explaining how silver was once refined by hand. I walked slowly through the info boards, reading about the silver route, how groups of people carried silver from the mine to Yunotsu port, then loaded it onto ships bound for Korea and China. The museum isn't big, but the information is clear. A 30-40 minute visit is enough to understand why this place once thrived thanks to silver mining. At the end of the day, I found a small book cafe tucked in an alley near the hot spring. It only has a few wooden tables, with shelves full of old books about Iwami Ginzan. I ordered a cup of hot tea and sat looking at old photos of silver miners. I stayed a bit longer, finished my tea, then stood up and headed back to the inn. Back in my room, I took a hot bath and rested early to get ready for the next leg of the trip. This 2-day journey through Iwami Ginzan, the old silver mining town, and Mount Sanbe, with its ancient buried forest, wrapped up with plenty of quiet yet worthwhile experiences. Omori Wooden Street, a fresh fish breakfast in Yunotsu, Yakushiu Hot Spring, Moriyama Pottery Studio, Sanbe Chairlift, and the forest's cicada song. I hope this travel documentary, 2 days in Iwami Ginzan and Mount Sanbe, helps you picture everything clearly, from how to catch the train and bus, hot spring tickets, to where to stay overnight and where to enjoy fresh morning fish. An old place just a few hours from Hiroshima, perfect for a change of pace, soaking in a hot spring, watching Kagura dance, or going up Mount Sanbe to see the forest. If you find this itinerary useful, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss the next travel vlogs. Real trips that help you feel ready to pack your own bag and go.